Why pickup and game will never, ever die. Why it will never, ever stop working. Why it will never go out of fashion. No matter how much times change, no matter how much technology around us change, no matter how much social media and online dating changes, game, pickup, cold approach will continue to work. All of those principles that you learn in game and all the stuff I teach will continue to work over and over and over. And you can believe me when I tell you, I've been doing this forever now. It continues to boggle my mind how everything that I used to teach 30 years ago continues to work over and over and over. It's just the nuts and bolts, the fundamentals. They never grow old. They never get stale. They never fail. It just continues to work. And I would argue in 2025, I never thought I would say this, but the tactics I was teaching in 1995 are working better in 2025 than they did then, or if not just as good. There was a point in, I want to say it was around 2004, when the book The Game came out by Neil Strauss. If you guys haven't read it, it's a very interesting read. You guys should read it, where they documented just basically Neil Strauss's journey into the world of pickup artists. And they infiltrated the Saddle Ranch in Hollywood, where I still do a lot of game. It's funny. The Saddle Ranch was mentioned in the book The Game. Here we are, 2 decades later since that book came out. I'm still doing pickup in that venue. I still love going to Saddle Ranch. I love the nachos. I love riding that mechanical bull. It's fun. Everybody should ride the mechanical bull. I still pick up lots of women from there. I still bounce lots of women from there. I mean, women that were not even born at the turn of the century. I feel like I'm just time traveling almost. Put me in any era, in any decade, any generation, and I will use the same exact principles I've always used, those time-tested principles, and they will continue to work. As I was mentioning, social media and online dating, let's be honest here, social media, dating apps, dating websites, Instagram, Facebook has ruined women's perception of themselves. It's ruined it in the sense that women think that they are a lot more attractive than they actually are. They think they are a lot more valuable than they actually are. They think they're a lot more younger and thinner and fitter than they actually are. A lot better looking than they actually are. It's ruined them. It has had literally zero effect on the effectiveness of pickup in game. Zero effect. Okay, it hasn't made game worse. It's made it better. The principles work even better. They continue to work. Openers, indirect openers, direct openers, negs, DHVs, they continue to work. Push pulls, dread game, false time constraints, they all continue to work. Blasting through our ASD, anti-slut defense, continues to work. As I was saying, in many ways, it works even better than it did before, if only for the reason that so few guys are doing this. So few guys even believe in it. It's almost become like a religion. Like, so few guys believe in it now, and they become secular. Like, oh, there's something called PUAs back then. Ha ha ha, right? And they think of like Mystery with the big hat and everything. They just kind of make fun of it, while I see these same guys in venues and I run circles around them. It's just hilarious to me because it just continues to work, and nobody's really teaching it anymore. As I was saying earlier, back in 2004, when that book The Game came out, and then there was a TV show a couple of years later called The Pickup Artist with Mystery. I had a little bit to do with that show, a little bit of contribution. But The Pickup Artist on VH1 came out. There was this height that was like really the peak of pickup artistry, where everybody out there was trying this stuff. You could not go to a single venue and walk in there without somebody like dressing outlandish, which we call peacocking. Still works. Even peacocking still works. I don't do it that much, but it still works. Back then, you had all these guys going to these venues practicing techniques that they read about in the book The Game or saw on TV on Mystery Show The Pickup Artist. They were practicing these things on women. As we used to describe it back then, it was like playing a video game but in real life, with real people and real women. I guess that's what made it really fun. This is before smartphones. Part of me was excited that everybody wanted to learn this stuff, and then another part of me was like, uh-oh, what are we going to do? I mean, it got to the point where women were hearing the same openers, like literally, like you could open a woman with a favor opener, right? Which is like, hey, can you take a picture of me and my friends? It's just to start a conversation with her. That's why we call it an opener. It's an indirect opener, but it's called a favor opener more specifically. Hey, can you take a picture of me and my friends? And then she takes a picture, and then you make fun of her for the picture she took and tell her to take a photography class, neg, and then tell her to take another one. And as you're doing this, you're slowly building rapport with her. And then you're like, what's your name? And then you just start going into it. Oh, my friends are over here. Let's all hang out together. I still do this to this very day. It still works. Back then, these favor openers, like women would be like, hey man, some other guy just tried to say this. How come all these guys want pictures all of a sudden? Or how come all you guys are saying the same thing? A lot of guys were using canned openers. That's what got me away from canned openers, because all these guys were saying the same exact thing. Like, hey, do you floss or do you brush? It was so insane. A lot of these openers were cringy, but even those worked. Hey, an opinion opener. Can I get your opinion on something? You know, do you think it's okay if, you know, if a girl starts going out with a guy and he's still talking to his ex-girlfriend, but as friends? How would you feel about that, right? And you get the woman's opinion, and women love to talk. They would just start yapping. I still use this dumb nonsense to this. I shouldn't even call it dumb, but I still use this crap to this very day. It still works. Shouldn't even call it crap. It works. And that was a time, like in the mid 2000s, I literally thought it was over. I was like, all guys are going to learn this stuff. Game is going to be crazy. Everybody out there is going to have mastery level game in the next few years, and I'm going to be out of business. So I better land one of these girls now, ride off into the sunset with her. Did that happen? No, that didn't happen, because pickup started to like lose its popularity, even though the principles continued to work. I've said this before, I'll do a separate coaching video on this, but men had better game. And I'm saying this, men had better game in 2005 than the men in 2025. I will put money on the men from 2005 against the men in 2025 any freaking day. Men in 2005 were bold. They had balls. They didn't play victim. They didn't cry when they were rejected. They kept going. They wanted to go to the next venue. They wanted to keep going until they got it right. They wanted to keep learning. They wanted to keep going down this rabbit hole, and nothing was going to stop them. I remember guys who would leave their careers. They were leaving college. A number of guys in medical school. Another guy from MIT like dropped out of school to learn pickup. You don't see that dedication today. Guys aren't going to do that today. And these guys got better. Not all of them became like masters or anything like that, but a lot of them got really good at game, and they were able to get the girls that they wanted into their lives. Very different from 2025. 2005 men definitely had better game, and men were bolder back then, less fearful, and like I said, just willing to learn, just willing to open themselves up to learning. These days, you still have guys who will work up the nerve to walk up to a girl and talk to her. I mean, there's always been that, especially guys after they have a little alcohol, right? We call it liquid courage. They will walk up to a woman and start talking to her kind of like in a drunken stupor, but they'll try, kind of in this half-ass, like very poor fundamental, piss poor style of game, but at least they'll give it a shot. The reason why game is working better today than it ever did before, well, two reasons. Number one, women don't expect you to walk up to them and start cold approaching them. A lot of women are just kind of taken back, like, whoa, are you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. You know, you're hitting on me? You know, yeah, just out of nowhere, right? So that's number one. Women are not used to being cold approached like they used to back in the day. And number two, second reason is very few guys cold approach, period, today. Most guys are doing online game, using the apps and, you know, creating profiles and whatnot. They're just not going out there and doing this like live in person. They're just doing it all online and then competing against the chads on those same apps. Unless you're a really great looking guy and you're tall, hit the genetic lottery, the apps will work in your favor like, you know, like crazy. But even then, you still have to have some form of game. Pickup game, it will never die. Cold approach, it will never die. It just continues to work, and now it is working better than ever. I just can't deny that it's just like, really, because I thought the game would be over in the mid 2000s when everybody started doing it because of the TV show and the book. I was like, this is it. This is the end of the line, folks. Sure enough, things changed. Social media, dating apps, guys started to veer away from this art form. I think it was like Rollo said something like, even he admitted, right? Like the red pill guru guy, he admitted that this all started with pickup artists. It did. Like all these forums, all of the MGTOW movement, the red pill, everything started with pickup. It all started back in the late 90s with these online forums where we were posting our infield stories. And I kind of miss that to some degree. I kind of miss that. But this is kind of the same thing, right? It's like we have YouTube, we could produce content. You know, I can't upload infields like before because in 2019, just too many dudes like did the wrong thing and YouTube banned it. So you can now be banned from YouTube if you upload you like walking up to a girl and just talking to her, getting her phone number. It's never going to die. I mean, regardless of feminism and all that, it's just never going to die. These fundamentals will continue to work over and over and over. And this is why I always tell guys, you know, you got to learn some game, man. You got to learn some game, not just game, but like red pill game. You know, you got to learn it through a red pill lens. So you not only learn the techniques, but you also understand the subjects that you're dealing with, which is women. You understand their nature. So you don't get taken for a run. You don't get taken advantage of. You don't get fooled by a lot of the games that they play, the nonsense, the womanese, the telling you one thing but doing another. You will be a complete man, so to speak. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I don't want to keep going on this topic. I want to do a separate topic about how guys' game has gotten worse over the last couple of decades. So I'm going to wrap this up. If you gained value from tonight's content, drop your comments below. Don't forget to smash the like button and the subscribe button on your way out. And if you want to support my work, the best way to support me is just jump into 7 months of mastery. This is my pickup artist and cold approach program that you learn from each month. Right now, it's only $1 for the entire first month, but you're going to be learning all of my best techniques, my best openers, my best DHVs, my best techniques in the game that have taken me over 30 years to really hone and master. You're going to be learning it all in 7 months to mastery. You can click that link below if you want to support me and you want to learn something at the same time. Till next time, I'll see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.